Right, hello, Sunday, and before Sunday's gone, look, I don't really have any viewers, so this is more about me disciplining myself to actually try and get something out, but failed a bit this week. So to rip off Blue Peter, I am going to show you something that I made earlier. So I made a t-shirt earlier with a very famous slogan on it. It's a joke from a film called The Life of Brian, which I heat pressed on this t-shirt after cutting the letters out in vinyl. Now, did I spend all my time carefully cutting these letters out? No, I used something called a Cricut. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And I heat pressed it, and I'll show you in a minute, just after I've shown you this t-shirt. So it's kind of like a joke, but also because I want to make a point. I'm not encouraging you to go out and do graffiti. What I'm encouraging you to do is think of your slogan and, you know, put it on a piece of media of some kind, like a t-shirt, or make your own sign, or even a puppet, you know, something, but, you know, something that kind of asks a question of society, you know, or, you know, is a slogan that you're happy advertising, you know, something that you want to say, something that comes from your heart. What I like to encourage you to do and give you permission to do is make your own art, you know, and give that art some purpose, some social purpose, you know. Turn your question into art. I mean, it's, even if it's a simple one, like, you know, it could be a poem, but, you know, or a punchy one-liner, or just a question. What things have I had on my mind? You know, I thought, you know, should I be standing outside Canterbury Cathedral with a picture of the world on fire with the wording, Eden's on fire, what would Jesus do? You know, I haven't done that. It's just a thought. I have a lot of thoughts of doing that kind of thing. And I think, oh, is that the right thing to do? But I tell you what, if you've come up with a slogan, you know, and a piece of media, and like, you know, and I think it's good enough, I will go and stand outside Canterbury Cathedral on a Sunday morning, you know, as they're all, you know, they're all coming in and out of service, you know, just, if you want, or I'll stand somewhere else on the high street, you know. If you can't get out, you know, if you don't feel brave enough to stand on the street, but you really want your question asked, or you really want to pose it, then, and I like it, and I see where you're coming from, I'll do it. I'm brave enough, you know. I'm big and bad enough, and people normally back off when I smile because I'm missing tooth, but we'll talk about that another day. Anyway, something I made earlier, this t-shirt, vinyl on cotton, and I will just go and have a look at the machines that I used to make it quickly. So let's hang this back up. Thank you. That film, just to remind you, Life of Brian. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Very funny. Right, okay. Put that back up there. So I'm going to swing round here. And so, oh, look at this classic old Doctor Who that I found. You know? Oh, it's an old, I love these old Doctor Who books when I was a kid. You know? They're so much fun. This is from 1981. I must have stolen it off my brother because I was like, I wasn't reading very much in 1981. I was a bit young. I was just about learning to read back then. But shall I read you the back quickly? No, I mean, I will, but you see, I'll go off on one. Just the book was lying there because I found it earlier, but it's just such a classic. Doctor Who and the Enemy of the World. By, who's that by there? That says Ian Marter. There you go, Ian, you know, and 1981, it's classic. It's about someone who's like created loads of like disasters, and he's the only one that could solve them. Anyway, so we're talking about this t-shirt. Romanus Aunt Domus. Romans go home. Or no, sorry, Romans they go to the house. And what he meant to write was Romans go home. So I got that completely wrong. So that means Romans they go to the house, which is incorrect. When what he wanted to say was Romans go home. Anyway, so coming over and we'll look like, so up on my shelf, got some material. So I think that's the same colour red vinyl that I used. I think that colour matches. So yeah, that's exactly the red vinyl that I used. Now it's just standard red vinyl. Look at this, this came directly from Cricut, but you can use other vinyl. This is a removable one, so it's the same colour, but it's slightly more premium. So, you know, basically what I've done is I've created the text and made a vector image out of the text of something you need to do within the software for this particular machine, which is the Cricut, which is great. I've got a Cricut Maker 3. It's an amazing machine. I love it. And you can do lots of different things with it. See, this is a sticker that I cut out when I first got it. Lovely horse, you know, black vinyl, just when I was testing it, stuck it on the front. Anyway, so opens up like this, and it works very much like a printer, but this is a cutting head I've got in here at the moment. You can use pens, like an auto pen, you know, so if you want to sign any important documents into law in the United States, you need one of these, nice auto pen that you've all heard about in the news. And you can change the heads on here, so this helps you create folds. This one, you make nice cards, cut light fabric, really thin leather. You know, you can get a bigger blade than the one I've got, but, you know, it can't do everything, you know. But it can do the fine bits, you know, fiddly fine bits. You know, the bigger stuff you can do yourself by hand. And then I've got one of these. I'm not going to switch it on. It uses a lot of power, you know. And this is a heat press. So as you can see, you put your medium, your t-shirt down there with, you know, with your grease-proof paper, whatever you're using, you know, it for in this particular case, you know, you just need to protect, you know, the fabric that's going down. You don't want to burn anything, so, you know, and then you take the, you know, vinyl, proper backing, t-shirt in, heat press, and hey presto, you've got a t-shirt that, you know, you can make for, you know, really, for materials wise, pennies. But of course, you know, with the t-shirt, so you're talking like, you know, just a few pounds, but you have to have all the equipment, you know. So over time, you know, pays for itself, but you know, it's quite a big outlay, so not everyone can do it. So you know, I don't want to just do things that are beyond the means of everyone else. So, you know, we'll have a look at some other ways of making signs. And a great device, which actually I lent to a friend of mine's daughter, which I can't remember what it's called, but basically you make one really easily, and you know, it allows you to trace letters that are small and make them big. So it's a way of writing big signs neatly. You know, and that's just a struggle for people, you know, to sign right neatly. So we'll have a look into that and some ways of making it easier for you to, you know, so you can do it without needing a printer. You can just use felt tips or what's around, because, you know, no one's got any money. I'm just lucky I've got all these machines, and I'm, you know, a bit of a nerd, like learning about machines and how to use them. So, but I'm sorry that this is so amateur and unscripted, but I hope maybe I've entertained you for 10 minutes while you're scrolling through everything else, and just want to give you some more authentic content coming for the heart. So I hope you had a good weekend. Have a good week. Be kind.